Chosen one, before you hear another word, know this: you were not drawn here by mere chance. This is no coincidence. You were led here by divine appointment, a calling that transcends time itself. Heaven has paused your timeline because you stand at the precipice of a supernatural awakening. You, anointed one, are about to step into the fullness of your purpose. The restlessness stirring in your soul is not an accident. It is the confirmation that something ancient, divine, and infinitely powerful is rising within you. Understand this truth: you are not entirely human. Your origin is not of this earth. You carry the mark of the Creator within you. As the prophet Jeremiah said, "Before you were formed, I knew you." Today, your spirit will remember what your mind has long forgotten. Prepare yourself. The revelation begins now. From the very start of your life, something inside of you has always moved differently. You may not have understood it at the time, but deep in your spirit, you knew you were never crafted by the same mold as the world around you. That whisper you felt wasn't just imagination, it was memory. Your spirit has always known where it came from, even when your mind lacked the words to explain it. The truth resided within you like a dormant seed, quietly waiting to sprout. You've often felt out of place, not because there is something wrong with you, but because you were designed for a higher purpose, a different realm. Long before you understood, you were marked with a divine imprint. Anointed one, your life is no accident. Every part of you, the sensitivity, the intuition, the restlessness, the depth, was all crafted with intention. You were formed with the Creator's fingerprints on your very essence. This is why you move in ways others can't understand, and why the world has never quite known what to do with you. For years, you've tried to shrink yourself, to fit into molds that were never meant for your spirit. Before we continue this powerful message, take a moment, pause this video, like it, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 voices of faith, and comment the number 99 to send a powerful signal of alignment to the universe. You've tried to silence the fire within, to soften the vision, to dim your awareness. But every time you tried, something inside of you resisted. That resistance is your true identity refusing to be buried. I've walked that path. I remember the times when I tried to look normal, speak normal, and live normal. I tried to fold myself into smaller shapes just to feel accepted. But the more I tried, the more suffocated I became. And I came to realize that discomfort is the first sign that you are living beneath your true design. Chosen one, heaven is calling you out of that discomfort. Your difference is not a flaw, it's a divine signal, a sacred mark that you carry something ancient, something powerful, something beyond this world. You are not 100% human the way the world defines it. You are spirit wrapped in flesh. You are eternity clothed in a temporary body. This is why your intuition is sharp, why your dreams feel prophetic, why you can sense danger before it appears. Your spirit remembers where it came from. It recalls the voice of God. It remembers purpose. It recalls authority. The world may try to convince you that you are ordinary, but the weight you carry is the proof that this is a lie. The enemy has always known who you are, which is why your life has been filled with unusual challenges. You were attacked not because you were weak, but because you were powerful. You were rejected not because you lacked value, but because your spirit threatened the status quo. Darkness always recognizes light before the light even realizes its own power. Have you noticed how the atmosphere changes when you enter a room? How conversations shift when you speak? How people can feel something in you that they can't explain? That's because you don't carry a normal frequency. You carry voltage. You carry anointing. You carry divine fire that disrupts the shadows. Yet, this identity is not just spiritual, it's directional. Every unique aspect of your being is preparing you for divine alignment. A supernatural shift is happening around you, one that will change the way you see, move, think, and step into your calling. Something big is approaching you, and your spirit has already begun to sense its tremble. Maybe you've felt restless lately. Maybe the things that once entertained you no longer satisfy. Maybe the environments that once felt comfortable now seem too small. This is not confusion, it's awakening. Your spirit is outgrowing the life your past created for you. You are evolving into the life your destiny is calling you to live. I have walked through seasons like this, times when I felt stripped on the outside but sharpened on the inside. Moments when heaven felt silent, only for God to reveal He was preparing me for a breakthrough I couldn't yet see. What seemed like loss was actually alignment. What felt like emptiness was actually the space being cleared for purpose. Chosen one, You are stepping into one of those moments now, a moment when divine timing overtakes delay, a moment when your identity rises to meet your calling, a moment when heaven makes visible what was once hidden. This is why your spirit is stirring. Heaven is positioning you for something greater than anything behind you. You may not see it fully yet, but you can feel the shift. You can sense the end of an old season and the opening of a new one. Your thoughts are changing. Your desires are changing. Even your prayers are changing. Heaven is reintroducing you to who you truly are. Your life is not random. Your identity is not by chance. Your calling is not fragile. What rests upon you comes from God Himself. You carry divine imprint in your essence and divine assignment in your steps. You were born to disrupt darkness, to carry light, and to walk in authority. You are not here to blend in. You are here to rise. You are here to remember. You are here to awaken. And once you awaken, nothing in this world can ever make you forget who you truly are. Chosen one, you are not 100% human because your spirit carries the breath, the design, and the blueprint of heaven. Your origin is divine. Your destiny is prophetic. Your calling is irreversible. Now that your spirit has begun to remember who you are, you must understand why the world reacts to you the way it does. Your difference has never been random. It has always been a spiritual signal. Even when you've said nothing, some people can sense your light. Some spaces change when you step into them, even if you walk in quietly. This is because your spirit does not belong to this world. The very earth recognizes that you are not from here. This is why you've often felt like a stranger, even in places you know well. You've tried to adapt, tried to blend in, but something inside you resisted. You've tried to stay where others felt comfortable, but your spirit never settled. You were never meant to fit into systems designed for survival. You were created for something higher. Your nature is not earthly, it is divine. And divine things always stand out. Many around you have been unable to explain why they misunderstood you, feared you, or even felt intimidated by your presence. They were reacting to something they couldn't interpret. When someone carries spiritual weight, others can sense it even without understanding it. People misinterpreted your depth as intensity, your discernment as judgment, and your calling as arrogance. But none of this was true. They were simply encountering someone who was never shaped by the world's template. Chosen one, the resistance you faced has been your confirmation. The constant misjudgment was the proof that you were operating at a higher spiritual altitude. You weren't rejected because you were unworthy. You were rejected because you were too much for those who chose to stay small. When you walk with divine purpose, those who walk only by sight will always misread you. But that has nothing to do with your value, it's all about your assignment. That is why your isolation was necessary. It was not punishment, it was protection. God separated you so that the world wouldn't contaminate the purity of what He had placed inside you. You were hidden because your destiny was fragile in its early stages. Seeds grow underground before they rise above the surface. In the same way, you were covered until the right season to emerge. Every period of loneliness in your life has been purposeful. Every closed door has protected your anointing. Every delayed opportunity has shielded your calling. You may have cried through some seasons, but heaven was guarding you the entire time. What seemed like abandonment was actually preservation. God keeps His rarest vessels away from people who don't know how to handle them. As you've grown, your spirit has become more sensitive. You began to notice shifts before they happen. You could feel when someone's intentions were wrong, even when their words sounded right. You could sense when a place was spiritually heavy, even when everyone else felt comfortable. That sensitivity is not a burden, it's a gift. It is the mark of someone born from a higher realm. Anointed one, you can no longer ignore the evidence. Every unusual experience in your life has pointed to one undeniable truth. You were never meant to live like everyone else. Your empathy is deeper. Your intuition is sharper. Your dreams are clearer. Your warfare is heavier. Your calling is greater. These are signs of divine origin. And because of your divine origin, you carry divine responsibility. You are not here merely to survive. You are here to shift atmospheres. You are here to break cycles. You are here to unlearn what the world forced upon you and remember what heaven wrote about you. You are here to walk in authority. You are here to walk in revelation. You are here to walk in power. But to do that, you must stop treating your identity as optional. You must stop apologizing for your spiritual nature. You must stop downplaying your anointing so others can feel comfortable. You were not built for comfort. You were built for calling, and calling requires courage. Chosen one, the world reacts to you because you break patterns. You disrupt darkness without trying. You expose hidden motives simply by being present. Darkness cannot remain comfortable around someone who carries light. That is why some people have distanced themselves from you. It was not personal, it was spiritual. Some connections broke because they were never meant to follow you into your next dimension. Some relationships faded because they could not bear the weight of your purpose. Some rooms closed because your presence would have exposed what was hidden there. God removed you to protect you, not punish you. Now, your spirit is shifting again. You can feel it on a deeper level. The things that once held your attention no longer satisfy you. The version of you that once tolerated mistreatment can no longer accept it. The people who once distracted you no longer hold power over you. You are entering a higher realm of awareness. This shift is not emotional, it is spiritual. Heaven is realigning you with a new identity, not a new personality, but a new awareness of what has always been within you. You are beginning to walk in confidence, not insecurity. In clarity, not confusion. In purpose, not hesitation. Your spirit is tuning into its original frequency. You may notice changes in your thoughts. You may feel a deeper hunger for solitude. You may feel drawn toward prayer, reflection, or silence. This is not withdrawal, it is elevation. God is fine-tuning your spirit to hear Him more clearly. He is removing the noise so that discernment can increase. He is preparing you for a moment when your true identity will be required. Chosen one, you are being positioned for supernatural elevation. Not just spiritually, but mentally, emotionally, and even financially. Heaven is aligning opportunities that match your calling. Doors will open that your effort could never have unlocked. People will enter your life who recognize your value instantly because they operate on the same spiritual frequency. The world will soon see what heaven has always known. You are not from here. You carry the breath of God. You carry the signature of divine origin. The authority within you cannot be taught, only bestowed. Chosen one, now that you understand the separation placed on your life, it's time to recognize the evidence of the divine DNA that courses through you. This evidence has been visible your entire life, though you may not have known how to interpret it. The world has taught you to doubt yourself, to question your intuition, and to explain away the supernatural occurrences you've experienced. But deep down, your spirit always knew the truth. The signs were never subtle. They were woven into your story from the very beginning. Think about the moments when your intuition saved you from danger, when you sensed something was wrong without any logical reason, when dreams you had later became reality, or when sudden clarity arrived in times of confusion. These were not coincidences. They were confirmations. Reminders that you carry a blueprint created outside of time. Chosen one, you've always operated beyond the natural senses. You see what others overlook. You feel what others ignore. You discern what others deny. This is because your identity is spiritual. The human senses are limited, but your spiritual senses have always been wide awake. Even when you tried to silence them, heaven continued to speak. You were never meant to navigate life based solely on what you can see. You were designed to walk by revelation. Your compassion is another profound sign of your divine DNA. You feel deeply, even when you try not to. You carry a level of empathy that many can't understand. You sense the pain in others, even when they haven't said a word. You pick up burdens that were never spoken aloud. Some have accused you of being too sensitive, too emotional, and too open, but they never realized that your sensitivity is spiritual intelligence. It's the mark of someone who carries heaven's heart. There have been moments when you forgave others who never apologized. Times when you helped others while you yourself were hurting. Moments when you gave what little you had, even when you were running on empty. This is not weakness, it's evidence. The world does not love like this. Human nature does not forgive like this. Flesh does not carry compassion at this depth. This kind of heart only comes from divine origin. It's the heart of someone called to heal, to restore, to uplift. Chosen one, your resilience is also part of your supernatural identity. Think of the storms you survived. Think of the betrayals that could have broken you but didn't. Reflect on the seasons when everyone counted you out, yet somehow you rose again. Human strength cannot explain your survival. People with half your battles would have collapsed, but you didn't. You may have bent, but you did not break. You may have cried, but you did not quit. This is the strength of someone carried, covered, and preserved by heaven. There were nights when you were overwhelmed, mornings when you didn't know how you'd make it through the day. Yet something in you kept moving, kept fighting, kept believing. That something was the breath of God within you. You're standing today not because of your own willpower, but because divine DNA cannot be defeated. You were built with heavenly reinforcement inside your spirit. Another sign of your supernatural identity is the spiritual warfare that follows you. At first, this may seem contradictory, but it's one of the clearest indicators of who you are. Darkness never fights what it doesn't fear. The enemy doesn't waste weapons on people with no purpose. The intensity of your battles is the proof of the magnitude of your calling. If your destiny was small, the warfare against your life would be minimal. But you were chosen for a high assignment, and that assignment is what has drawn both favor and resistance to you. You've noticed that every time you approach a breakthrough, some disruption appears. Every time you move forward spiritually, something tries to pull you backward. Every time you start to rise, something tries to silence you. This is not coincidence. It's spiritual strategy. The closer you move toward your true identity, the more threatened darkness becomes. But chosen one, you must understand this. The warfare does not mean you are losing. It means you are close. Many of the battles you've faced were not even about you. They were about what you carry. Your voice is dangerous. Your clarity is dangerous. Your anointing is dangerous. Your very presence destabilizes the enemy's agenda. And that is why you have been targeted. But instead of destroying you, every attack refined you. Every battle sharpened your spirit. Every setback elevated your authority. What was meant to crush you ended up shaping you. Chosen one, another unmistakable sign of your divine DNA is the way your life refuses to stay ordinary. Even when you try to live small, heaven enlarges you. Even when you try to stay unnoticed, God's hand exposes you. Even when you run from purpose, purpose chases you. You were never meant to be average. You were never meant to blend in. Your spirit rejects mediocrity because it was not designed for it. You carry too much fire, too much purpose, and too much destiny for an ordinary life. There's also the way opportunities find you. Even in seasons when you had nothing, something always showed up at the last moment. A person appeared, a door opened, a solution arrived. You should have fallen many times, but heaven upheld you. You should have lost everything, but grace covered you. You should have failed, but favor sustained you. These patterns are not random. They are reminders that your life is governed by divine alignment, not human luck. Chosen one, your story has always been supernatural even when you didn't recognize it. Every unusual trait, every painful season, every moment of clarity, and every step of survival has pointed to one undeniable truth. You carry divine DNA. You are not just living a life, you are unfolding a calling. You are not merely surviving, you are being shaped for assignment. You are not wandering, you are being prepared. Chosen one, as the truth of your divine DNA awakens within you, something deeper begins to stir. A pull that's difficult to describe, yet impossible to ignore, a pull that draws you away from the familiar and toward what is spiritually aligned. This is not just emotional growth, it is spiritual elevation. Heaven is calling you out of the life you built in survival mode and into the life you were destined to live. You can sense it in the way old desires fade away. You feel it in the way certain environments no longer sit well with you. You notice it in the way conversations that once distracted you now feel hollow. These aren't random changes. They are spiritual indicators that your spirit is shedding an old identity. You are evolving, not into a new version of yourself, but into a truer version. This awakening stirs something ancient within you. You begin to sense purpose in places where you once felt confusion. A quiet authority rises from deep within, and you notice that fear doesn't grip you like it used to. You feel stronger, clearer, and more aware. You feel the presence of God closer, more tangible, more consistent. This is what happens when a chosen one steps into alignment. Heaven amplifies your discernment. Your inner compass sharpens. You begin to see through people's words and into their intentions. You start recognizing divine timing, noticing spiritual patterns, and interpreting signs that others overlook. As this awakening intensifies, you may feel a strange separation happening within you. You are still in the same world, but you no longer feel connected to it in the same way. Your desires are changing. Your priorities are shifting. The things that once defined you no longer hold the same weight. This is a holy separation, heaven drawing you closer, not pushing you away. You begin to realize that the silence you once feared is the very space where God speaks the loudest. You may feel lonely at times, but you are not alone. Heaven often isolates those it intends to elevate. Chosen one, This spiritual transition may make you feel like you're standing between two worlds. One foot still in the life you've known, and the other stepping toward the destiny calling you forward. This in-between space can feel disorienting, but it is sacred. It is the hallway between your past identity and your divine assignment. It is the bridge where transformation occurs. This is where your faith takes root. This is where distractions lose their power. This is where purpose becomes clearer. During this shift, you may notice that some relationships can no longer stay connected to you the way they once did. People you thought you couldn't live without begin to drift. Friendships that once felt essential start to feel misaligned. Conversations begin to feel forced. Connections weaken. This is not a sign of failure, it's divine pruning. God is removing voices that cannot accompany your elevation. Not because they are bad people, but because they are not spiritually equipped to walk with you into your next dimension. You cannot carry old relationships into a new identity. Your spirit is ascending into a new atmosphere, and not everyone can breathe at that altitude. Some people were meant to walk with you only through certain chapters, not the entire book. As God separates you, He also protects you. He shields your spirit from environments that would weaken your discernment, pulls you away from patterns that would delay your calling, and closes doors that would distract your destiny. Chosen one, as this awakening deepens, your authority begins to rise. You start to speak differently, think differently, and move differently. Fear no longer controls you the way it once did. Pressure no longer causes you to shrink. You no longer apologize for your anointing. Confidence rises not from pride, but from identity. You begin to understand that your voice carries weight, your presence carries impact, and your obedience carries power. You walk with a spiritual posture that reflects who you truly are: someone sent, someone chosen, someone marked by heaven. This is also the season where your gifts begin to activate. You notice your intuition growing sharper, prophetic nudges stronger than before. You receive dreams with clear messages. You sense danger earlier. You discern truth instantly. You feel alignment in your spirit even before circumstances reflect it. These are signs that your gifts are maturing. You are stepping into spiritual clarity. This awakening also shifts your relationship with pain. You begin to realize that your suffering was never punishment, it was preparation. Your heartbreak gave you humility. Your wilderness gave you wisdom. Your battles gave you authority. Everything you endured was shaping the vessel you are becoming. You no longer view pain the same way. You understand now that it was purpose in disguise. Anointed one, you are beginning to notice that your spirit has become stronger than your emotions. You feel grounded. You feel anchored. You feel guided by an inner voice that is not yours alone. That is the voice of the Spirit aligning you with your divine path. You begin to understand that obedience is not a burden, but a key. Every time you follow a divine prompting, doors open. Every time you surrender, heaven accelerates you. Every time you say yes, something shifts in the invisible realm. Chosen one, your awakening is not just internal, it is prophetic. Heaven is preparing you for supernatural elevation. Your spirit is being positioned for opportunities that align with your calling. You are being prepared for connections that match your purpose. You are being aligned with assignments that demand wisdom, authority, and courage. You are stepping into a season where your identity, your gifts, and your destiny converge in powerful alignment. As this unfolds, you will begin to notice the unmistakable signs of divine orchestration. People will appear in your life at the precise moment you need them. Opportunities will open with ease, without any force. Solutions will come to you before you even ask. Doors that were once locked will suddenly open. Favor will follow you. Grace will cover you. Provision will find you. This is what happens when a chosen one steps into spiritual alignment. Chosen one, as your awakening deepens, heaven begins preparing you for something even greater: the authority you were always meant to carry. This authority is not loud or aggressive. It does not come from force, status, or human strength. It flows from identity, alignment, and surrender. When a chosen one remembers who they truly are, spiritual authority rises naturally like fire returning to its source. You do not try to be powerful. You simply are. This authority begins with clarity. You start seeing the difference between what comes from God and what comes from distraction. Things you once tolerated now feel spiritually toxic. People you once trusted now reveal their true intentions. Situations you once chased now show themselves as traps. This clarity is not paranoia, it is discernment. It is heaven sharpening your senses so you can walk with precision. Chosen one, you were never meant to live confused or uncertain. Confusion is the language of darkness. Clarity is the language of the spirit. As your identity strengthens, the fog around your life begins to lift. You start recognizing patterns, threads, signs, and warnings. You see attacks before they arrive. You sense alignment before it manifests. You interpret silence as direction, not abandonment. This is the first layer of spiritual authority, seeing as heaven sees. Then comes the authority of speech. You begin to notice that your words carry unusual weight. When you speak, life situations shift. When you declare peace, storms quiet. When you speak truth, deception breaks. Your words create movement in the invisible realm because your spirit speaks from a place of divine backing. This is why you must be conscious of your language. A chosen one's voice is not ordinary, it carries creative power. Your presence begins to carry force. When you walk into a room, atmospheres react. Sometimes people feel comfort. Sometimes they feel exposed. Sometimes they feel conviction. Sometimes they feel peace. Your presence reveals the spiritual condition of whatever environment you enter. This is not intimidation. It is illumination. Whatever is in darkness cannot remain comfortable around someone who carries light. Chosen one, this is why certain people have avoided you without reason. Why some opportunities have changed direction. Why certain environments have felt heavy the moment you stepped inside. You were not being rejected, you were disrupting what was hiding. Your authority unsettles anything not aligned with truth. Darkness recognizes you even when people do not. As your authority grows, heaven begins assigning you new responsibilities. These responsibilities may not always appear dramatic. Sometimes they come as small promptings: speak to this person, pray for that one, step away from that environment, and release that habit. These small instructions carry immense spiritual weight. When you obey quickly, your authority deepens. When you hesitate, you delay what heaven is trying to unlock. Chosen one, obedience is the accelerator of destiny. Your next dimension is not unlocked by effort, but by alignment. When heaven sees that you respond to the whisper, it can trust you with the assignment. Many desire elevation, but few obey the instructions. You are different. You feel the pull to surrender. You feel the urgency to align. You feel the conviction when something is not right. That feeling is your spiritual compass guiding you toward divine timing. As you step deeper into this authority, you begin to understand that your battles were not meant to destroy you, they were training you. Every attack strengthened your discernment. Every loss sharpened your senses. Every betrayal expanded your compassion. Every disappointment deepened your wisdom. These experiences were not meant to crush you, but to build you into a vessel heaven could use with power and precision. This is why you survived things that should have broken you. Your survival was not accidental. It was intentional. You were being shaped in the fire. The same fire that hurt you purified you. The same storms that threatened you equipped you. The same valleys that confused you strengthened your voice. You did not simply endure, you evolved. Chosen one, now that your authority is awakening, you will notice an internal shift in the way you stand, speak, and carry yourself. You no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer need validation. You no longer seek approval. You no longer apologize for your anointing. You move differently because you know who you are. Identity produces posture. Posture produces power. This spiritual authority also shapes how you handle warfare. You no longer panic when storms appear. Instead, you recognize patterns. You see the tactics, the timing, and the deeper purpose behind each battle. You understand that not all attacks are meant to break you. Some are distractions, some are tests, and some are signs that elevation is near. You have learned that warfare is not proof of weakness. It is confirmation of your assignment. As your authority increases, so does your responsibility to protect your spirit. Not everyone can access you. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every connection deserves your attention. You must guard your peace, your time, your mind, and your fire. You are a vessel carrying divine oil, and that oil must be protected. You cannot pour into people or places that waste what heaven placed in you. Chosen one, you are entering a season where heaven will trust you with more influence, more opportunities, more revelation, and more responsibility. but heaven only expands what you are willing to steward. That's why this season requires discipline. You must learn when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move and when to wait, when to pour and when to retreat. Authority without discipline becomes chaos. Authority with discipline becomes destiny. As the spiritual authority settles within you, you will begin to witness miracles unfold in your everyday life. Doors will open effortlessly. Solutions will appear before you even ask. People will show up at the exact moment you need them. Provision will flow from unexpected places. This is what happens when a chosen one walks in alignment with heaven. The supernatural becomes natural. Chosen one, this season marks the beginning of a higher mantle on your life. Heaven is calling you to step fully into who you were designed to be. A carrier of revelation, a voice of clarity, a vessel of power, and a presence that shifts atmospheres. As your authority awakens, heaven begins ushering you into a realm of supernatural influence, a dimension where your presence, your words, and your assignment begin to impact lives in ways you never imagined. This influence is not about fame, recognition, platforms, or applause. It is about purpose. True spiritual influence comes from alignment, not visibility. You were never meant to chase influence, you were meant to carry it. This kind of influence begins within. When your inner world aligns with heaven, your outer world begins to transform naturally. You start thinking differently. Your decisions become wiser. Your boundaries become clearer. Your spirit becomes stronger. Influence is a reflection of internal order. The more heaven shapes you on the inside, the more authority flows from you on the outside. Chosen one, you may not realize it, but people already sense something unusual around you. They come to you for wisdom without knowing why. They feel safe telling you things they've never shared with anyone. They feel comforted by your presence, strengthened by your words, or challenged by your silence. This is because your spirit carries a grace that their spirits recognize. Influence is not something you try to produce. It is something you already possess. As you step deeper into this influence, God will begin placing you in strategic positions. Some of these positions may seem small, but they carry heavy spiritual purpose. A simple conversation becomes healing. A single decision becomes protection. A moment of obedience becomes breakthrough. You begin to notice that your footsteps are divinely guided. You are not wandering. You are being positioned and chosen. One supernatural influence requires courage. You will often be called to stand alone, speak truth when others stay silent, or move forward when others remain comfortable. Influence demands purity, integrity, and spiritual sharpness. You must be willing to follow the voice of God, even when it contradicts the expectations of people. You cannot be influenced by the world while carrying influence for heaven. One of the clearest signs that your influence is rising is the shift in your relationships. People who once ignored you suddenly pay attention. People who once doubted you now seek your perspective. Some who rejected you begin to respect you from a distance. Others who once manipulated your kindness now realize they no longer have access to your spirit. Influence changes dynamics not because you seek power, but because your spiritual posture has matured. As your influence expands, so does your responsibility to steward your environment. You become more careful with your time, more discerning with your connections, and more intentional with your presence. You begin to understand that you cannot show up everywhere, speak to everyone, or invest in everything. You must learn to protect your energy, guard your peace, and honor your assignment. When heaven increases your influence, it also increases your need for discipline. Chosen one, your influence is not only personal, it is generational. The decisions you make now will ripple far beyond your lifetime. Your obedience will open doors for people connected to your destiny. Your healing will break cycles your ancestors could not. Your courage will become a blueprint for those who come after you. Influence flows forward through your bloodline. Your yes to God becomes someone else's freedom. This dimension of influence also affects your creativity, your voice, and your gifts. Ideas will come to you with clarity. Solutions will rise effortlessly in your mind. Wisdom will flow through you in moments when you feel least prepared. This is because what you carry is not human intelligence, it is divine insight. You are tapping into a heavenly source of inspiration that never runs dry. This is how influence looks in the spirit, quiet but powerful, simple but profound. Supernatural influence also changes the way you see opposition. You begin to recognize that not every resistance is the enemy. Some resistance is training. Some challenges are part of your preparation. Some obstacles are shaping the strength you will need for greater assignments. You stop panicking when pressure mounts because you understand that pressure reveals capacity. What once intimidated you now sharpens you. Chosen one, heaven is preparing to amplify your voice in ways you have not seen before. This may happen through conversations, leadership roles, creative expression, divine connections, or unexpected opportunities. Do not underestimate the small places God places you. Sometimes a quiet room carries more spiritual impact than a crowded stage. Sometimes one heart is more valuable than 1,000 followers. Influence is measured in obedience, not numbers. As you walk in this dimension, you will begin to feel a greater awareness of your calling. You will sense that your life is moving with purpose, not randomness. Heaven will push you forward, urging you not to settle. You will find yourself in moments where your presence shifts an entire atmosphere, where your words lift someone from hopelessness, where your discernment uncovers what was hidden. This is the fruit of divine influence, chosen one. There is one more truth you must understand. Supernatural influence is not about being seen, it is about being effective. Heaven does not anoint you for popularity. Heaven anoints you for impact. You are being shaped into someone whose life leaves spiritual fingerprints wherever you go. You are becoming a vessel heaven can trust with assignments that cannot fail. Chosen one, now that supernatural influence has begun to settle upon your life, heaven is preparing you for something even greater: divine promotion. This promotion is not the kind the world gives. It is not based on performance, talent, or popularity. It comes from alignment, obedience, and identity. When heaven promotes you, no earthly system can demote you. When heaven lifts you, no enemy can drag you down. Promotion in the kingdom is not earned, it is revealed. It unfolds the moment you become the version of yourself that heaven already sees. This promotion begins internally long before it manifests externally. You will start feeling a shift in your spirit, a deep knowing that something new is unfolding. You will no longer be satisfied with the level you used to live on. You will feel yourself outgrowing patterns, thoughts, and habits that once held you. You will sense a spiritual upgrade happening in your mind and heart. This is heaven expanding your capacity. Chosen one, divine promotion always begins with internal stretching. You may feel pulled beyond your comfort zone. You may feel called to responsibilities you never imagined. You may sense God asking for a deeper level of surrender. Promotion requires transformation. You cannot carry a greater mantle while holding on to old limitations. Heaven is enlarging your spirit so you can sustain what is coming. As this expansion continues, you will begin to notice certain opportunities opening without effort. People will begin to recognize your value. Doors that were once closed will start to open unexpectedly. Solutions will appear where there used to be obstacles. This is the evidence of divine promotion. Heaven begins shifting circumstances to match your new identity. You will begin to understand the depth of your influence and the magnitude of your calling. As this full awakening takes place, you will also begin to witness the manifestation of everything you have walked through: the trials, the tears, the waiting, and the challenges. All of it has been shaping you for this moment. The trials were not punishment, they were preparation. The waiting was not wasted, it was alignment. Chosen one, you are entering a time when your life will be marked by divine clarity and supernatural authority. You will no longer question your steps. Every decision you make will be in alignment with heaven's will. The barriers that once held you back will no longer have power over you. You will move with confidence, knowing that you are walking in the fullness of your purpose. This is your moment of divine awakening. The heavens have been waiting for you to step fully into your identity, to claim the mantle that has always been yours. You are a vessel of light, a carrier of divine wisdom, and a beacon of hope to those around you. You are a living testament to the power of transformation, and your life is now a reflection of heaven's perfect design. As you continue to awaken to the fullness of your identity, you will notice that everything around you begins to shift. The environments you walk into will reflect your inner transformation. People will begin to see you for who you truly are, not just a person, but a divine vessel called to change the world. Opportunities will align with your calling in ways you could never have imagined. Your voice will carry further, your influence will spread wider, and your impact will be undeniable. This awakening is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where your identity is fully realized, your purpose is fully activated, and your destiny is unfolding before your eyes. You are no longer just existing. You are living in divine alignment, and you are walking boldly into the fullness of your calling. Chosen one, this is the moment of your true awakening. The time is now. Step into it with confidence. Step into it with authority. Step into it knowing that heaven has been preparing you for this very moment, and now you are ready to walk in the fullness of your divine destiny. The world is waiting for you. Your time has come. And as you reflect, you begin to recognize why everything in your life unfolded the way it did, why certain battles were necessary, why your spirit always felt different. This awakening anchors you in who you truly are. As this awakening settles into your soul, you begin to walk with an inner knowing that cannot be shaken. You no longer question your worth, debate your calling, or wonder whether you are chosen. You feel the truth in your bones. You see it in your reflections. You hear it in your prayers. Your identity becomes clearer than fear, louder than doubt, and stronger than insecurity. You are no longer searching for yourself. You are stepping into yourself, chosen one. This awakening changes how you view your entire story. You begin to appreciate the pain that shaped your wisdom. You honor the seasons that humbled you. You cherish the quiet years when God was molding your character. You now understand that what tried to break you was actually building you. What you thought was rejection was redirection. What felt like loss was preparation. Your story was never random. It was divinely scripted. This awakening also activates your purpose with new clarity. You begin to understand what you are called to carry, who you are meant to impact, what you are meant to build, and where you are meant to go. Your gifts that once felt scattered now feel connected. Your experiences that once felt heavy now feel purposeful. Everything aligns. Everything fits. The pieces of your destiny begin to fall into place effortlessly. Chosen one, you also become more aware of your spiritual authority. In this stage, you understand the weight your presence carries. You recognize the power of your words. You sense the responsibility of your calling. You no longer hesitate when God prompts you. You no longer shrink when spiritual warfare arises. You move with maturity, clarity, and confidence. You have outgrown fear because your identity has filled the space fear once occupied. This awakening also affects how you respond to others. You no longer take betrayal personally. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. You no longer waste energy explaining your path. You simply walk in truth. Those who are meant for you will recognize your spirit, and those who are not will fall away naturally. Your relationships become clearer, purer, and more purposeful. You attract what aligns with you and release what does not. In this awakened state, your discernment sharpens to a new level. You sense danger before it approaches. You see deception before it speaks. You recognize divine alignment instantly. Heaven begins revealing things to you faster because your spirit is now tuned to receive without resistance. Guidance flows more clearly. Peace becomes your compass. You navigate life not by reaction but by revelation. Chosen one, this awakening also brings boldness. Not the loud boldness of ego, but the quiet boldness of destiny. You stop waiting for permission to be who God created you to be. You stop delaying your calling out of fear of judgment. You stop minimizing your gifts to make others comfortable. You rise with spiritual courage. You step into rooms knowing you belong. You speak truth knowing it carries power. You move with the confidence of someone who has heaven backing them. This final transformation also shifts your atmosphere. You begin feeling lighter, freer, and more aligned. You feel purpose guiding your steps. You sense grace covering you. You notice miracles flowing more easily. You begin experiencing divine timing not as rare blessings but as a lifestyle. Favor follows you. Opportunities match you. Your life starts reflecting the identity you have embraced, chosen one. The world will notice this transformation, not because you announce it, but because you embody it. Your presence feels different. Your decisions feel intentional. Your voice feels rooted. Your energy carries fire. People will wonder what changed, but you will know you have awakened. You remembered who you are. You stepped into what heaven placed inside you before time began. This journey has not been easy, but it has been holy. It has shaped you into a vessel capable of carrying the weight of your calling. You are no longer the version of yourself that doubted, feared, or questioned. You have become the version heaven always saw. This is the fullness of your awakening, chosen one. This is the moment everything shifts. This is the dimension where destiny becomes reality. This is the chapter where you walk boldly in who you are divine, chosen, called, and awakened. Chosen one, As we close, here's this in your spirit. You are not leaving the same. Something divine has awakened in you. This is your Kairos moment, your appointed hour. The supernatural shift over your life is already in motion. Walk forward with confidence, knowing heaven is backing every step you take. You were created to rise, to lead, and to carry a power not of this world. Hold this revelation close. Declare it. Live it. If this word touched your spirit, comment, "I remember who I am," to seal it. Stay aligned. Stay awakened. Stay expectant.